Therian here, once again to answer one more question. Anonymous asks, I have a question. When and how did you realize you are non-human? That is a personal question, and that is going to be a long answer. um, when and how did I realize you were non-human? I realized when I was a really little kid. I have a different thinking process than most people. At least that's what I feel. I mean, everyone that I've met, when I've told them like my opinion on how we humans run things, it's just, they kind of just look at you with that look like, what the fuck are you talking about? Or excuse my language, but they treat you strange. It's weird, and they'll think, oh, but that's what animals do, and we're people, and technically people are animals. We are in the Animalia class. Like, anyway, so I just have I kind of had a different thinking process as a little kid with how things were run. And I was a little kid, and so people were just kind of brushed it off at first, but then, these thoughts are still here, and they still kind of mess with me every now and then about how things are run. And so I've always felt that I wasn't human, but I was, well, I always felt that I was different. I had a different thought process. After that, it's kind of like, as a kid, you play pretend, dress up as or not dress up, but you play as an animal with your friends and all that, and it's kind of like a little kid thing. There's always those little kids who pretend. There's always kids who play pretend. It's a natural thing. But I felt more comfortable in that, like, in pretend, but I never pretended I was an animal that I am now. It was always, I think it was always a cat or a fox or something. Yeah, weird stuff. And then, you play as your fictional characters, and, pretty much LARPing when you're a kid. So, there was that. And then as I got older, when you get older, you don't really play as much, and you don't do all that stuff. It's just strict work and all. But I felt more comfortable as an animal. Like, I felt there were ears and a tail, like, constantly. And sometimes, like, when you feel your hand and you feel, like, your hair sticking up and all that, I would feel fur, but it wasn't just like, this is my hair. Like, I would feel it, like, all over my body, like, fur. And it was weird. Like, I got a lot of phantom shifts and everything when I was younger. But I never told anyone about it, because when things happened like that, I would tell my mom, and she's like, oh, you're just playing pretend or something. She never really took it seriously. So, I never really brought it up until about late high school, that's when I started saying, okay, this is it. I accept it now. Like, everyone just shut up, pushes them away. Or not pushes them away, but like pushes them out of the way if they want to be a butt about it, and just, no. So, there's that as a kid, but I didn't know what my animal was, so, I had to do a lot of soul searching, meditating, all that stuff, and I found out what I was. But when I realized it, I don't know, like, when I was young, it has to be like elementary school, about 5th, 4th, maybe even 6th grade. I think it was 5th grade the most, though 5th grade was a really hard year for me. 4th grade wasn't as bad, so maybe the end, or somewhere around 4th grade. Those are kind of memories I don't remember all too well, because I was young and I have a really bad memory. And how it just kind of just clicked. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen to a lot of people. I didn't really accept it until high school, because I want to be like a normal person, but I then found someone when I went my first day of high school. There was someone who was wearing ears, and I've always wanted to do that, like my entire life, because I always felt like there were ears like right here, but like they're all the ears that you see are always like on top of your head instead of like humanly like anatomy, like that always bothered me. But I still always wanted to wear ears because I felt more comfortable, but even though they were like kind of invisibly there, but I didn't know how to explain it then. So I saw this person and I was like, they're just like me. And that's when I was like, there's someone else like me that's out there. And that's when I started accepting, because I didn't want to be that one person out there who gets ridiculed and bashed. And, I was never really online, didn't do much searching until later. But, that's pretty much how that all happened. I didn't really go into all the detail I wanted to. I'm kind of trying to keep it short. Could be a 10-minute video. And I don't want to be like all personal, like, oh, this happened and this happened, but I don't want to, and it's not really like, oh, you're traumatized, and that's why you think you're an animal, or you're crazy because, this freaking happened. It's like, no, dude, it just happened. Like, I don't know what else to say. It just happened. I mean, there's times I hate it. Most of the time I hate it, but then I kind of just accepted it just to deal with it. What am I supposed to do? Oh, I'm not a Therian, as I constantly lie to myself to make me feel better about myself, which would just make things worse in the end. So, I don't even know what else to say. Like, I keep rereading over this question. It's like right above the camera, so it's like right there. How do I realize that you were, like, I hope I answered that good enough. And I'm really bad at this. Like, I feel like I am. But it was when I was a little kid, and it just clicked with me. It just took me a while to find out what animal I was to be completely obvious. Well, completely obvious, I suppose. I mean, it wasn't obvious, but it's like a, common animal to be it's common to be a wolf, but there's a theory behind that. Well, at least I have a few theories behind that. Well, I have one main one. I don't remember the other ones, but I'm pretty sure I have them in discussion chats somewhere. But yeah, that's it. I really hope that answered your question. If anything, just ask me more. I'm trying to get more into explaining things and tongue-tied, and I don't want to be like super serious about it and like I want to show emotion, man. I kind of want to be my happy self. So anyway, so feel free to ask me more questions if I didn't answer that, or if you have another question, So anyway, see you later. That was Girly Therian.